Hey, and welcome to Couples Will Show. We are delighted to have you on board. And so karibuni sana. And I know we are enjoying holiday with our children. I hope hakuna stress huko nyumbani, na kama hiko pole sana. And that is why we are here, because we also want to handle the issue of our children this holiday. I'm telling you, you are sorted. So welcome to Couples Will Show. And this is where we write down our love will while we are alive. For we don't want our love stories to be read when we are 6 feet under. With that, we want our love stories to be read when we are gone. And my name is Willie Kinyash. I'm a Dr. Love. And tonight, we are going to have a wonderful, wonderful time. Tonight, you're not going to have a love story, but rather we're going to have a counselor who is going to help us understand how we can do parenting. And so I am having an amazing, amazing guest. Before I give you the topic we are going to discuss, wacha kwanza atusalimie. Hey Naomi.
Hey.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana Willie.
Good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Salimia watazamaji, waambie ni nani.
Asante sana. Thank you for the warm welcome. My name is Naomi Ngugi. I am a counseling psychologist, also an advocate against domestic violence. I love working with families. That's my area of calling in the family mountain, as we call it from the spiritual perspective. So I work with families, parents, children, teenagers, anyone who wants help to enhance their relationship, their marriage. That is who I work with. And I'm so excited to be here as we talk about parenting. I'm very passionate about intentional parenting, and especially in our Christian setting, so that we stop saying this generation, this and that. Yeah. Because these children didn't fall from the sky. They came from our, interactions. And so we want to see how can we enhance the relationships with our children, and especially during this holiday. Yeah.
Wow.
So thank you so much for hosting me.
Karibu sana. And I want to believe that we are going to have a wonderful time together.
Yes.
Yes, that is my guest, Counselor Naomi Ngugi. If you have any question you want to ask concerning parenting, feel free to ask us. And so the topic we are going to discuss tonight, we want to talk about parental shifting, what did we call it? The generational shift in parenting. Generational shift in parenting. And today, there is someone who posted something that really caught my attention on Facebook. And he wrote, the illiterate person in the 21st century is not the person who cannot be able to read and write, but any person who cannot or who is not ready to unlearn, relearn, and learn. And that is why we are here to learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Exactly.
Because there is a way we have been doing things, but we have been doing it the wrong way. And so we want to know, what are some of these things we have been doing, but we've been doing them the wrong way. It is something we just picked because we saw our parents do them. And so as the new parents, the millennials, now as we are millennials, now we picked from the generation X and boomers, all those, and now we have copied and pasted, and it is not working for us. And so that is why Naomi is here, and it is upon her to tell you that we are coming to you live from Maxland Hotel in Juja City Mall. Naomi, the first question, has parenting changed over the past decade?
Yes, parenting has changed. I mean, we have to accept. The parent of yesterday decade is not the parent of today. A lot has changed in the parenting field. And not just parenting. Many things have changed. Even the medical field, education, we've just revised our education system. So things are changing. And we always say the only constant thing is change.
Yeah.
So really, even parenting has not been left behind. There's a lot of changes. Nowadays, we are seeing a lot of intentional parenting, positive parenting. The parent of today is very concerned with enhancing that relationship and that bond with their children. The parent of the other decade, that is Gen X, we who are now our parents.
Yeah.
They were very more of authoritarian. They expected obedience without any questioning, and they were also interested in standards in school. And how is this going to help your career? How is this going to set you up, in the career world? And the parent of today is more concerned with what are your talents?
Yeah.
What is your, creative skill that I can enhance? We are the parents who, now the millennials, who will easily take our children to do music and DJ as a career.
Yeah.
Our parents, millennials who are DJs, can tell you
it was very hard. Yes,
like,
it was very hard for them.
There were specific professions, either become a teacher, a nurse,
a
secretary,
doctor.
What are you talking about?
DJ. No.
You have dreadlocks.
Yes.
That is against our culture, So now we are seeing more of conscious parenting.
Yeah.
And where this is also the generation of parents, the millennials, who are like rebelling, from the culture.
Yeah.
Our parents were, they really wanted this as a family. This is what we do.
This is what we do.
Yeah, as a clan, this is our culture. This is what we do, and we don't go out of that. So parenting has really, really changed. The approach that today's parent is using is also more lenient. And, as opposed to the parent of yesterday, who was not questioned and who was, the authority was, the authoritarianism was on another level that even you as a child, even the idea of questioning could not come to you. Couldn't come to you. Yeah. The parent of yesterday also had very high expectations for their child, You wanted your children to be the who and who in the village, and have that very high expectation of your children. But today we are seeing that we are saying
changing. Every
child is different. We are that generation that is accepting the difference in all our children, while the parent of yesterday is that parent who, the firstborn is setting the pace for the secondborn, and the standards are too high.
The bar is too high.
It is too
That's
high.
The moment you try to jump, you must hit it.
Exactly. Yeah. So those are some of the differences that we are seeing. And also when it comes to the workplace, the parent of yesterday is the workplace is different from the workplace of today.
Today you've seen people working from home.
The stress levels are different. We are seeing more mothers at work. In the previous years, most mothers were at home.
Yeah.
That's a generation also where mothers started coming to the offices, but we still had many mothers at home and fathers in the workplace.
True.
So that is now the parent of yesterday is the one who started bringing in a house girl in the house to take care of the children as a way of coping with this mother who is now having to leave the house to go to work. Yes. So the millennials are the generation that were brought up by house girls. Then now this is our generation where now we are even thinking of daycare. You see, we are thinking of now daycares as opposed to having the house girl in the house. We have other options. The parent of today is working in some of the organizations where they have breastfeeding booths. You can come with your baby, and there's a nanny who can take, and your nanny in the office take care of the of the child. We have some of organizations doing that. So even the working environment for the parent of today has changed. Yeah.
I hear you talking, and as you're talking about the way things have changed, the things to do with career, before parents were looking at the performance, the grades you're getting, but today people or the parents are looking at what are you good at, and I'm thinking, is it by coincidence that even the education system has changed, that now we have gone to the CBC? Is it by coincidence?
I don't think it's by coincidence. I think it's also more of our experiences as the children who were brought up by the parent of yesterday. and coming to realize there is more to career, there is more to life than grades.
Yeah.
And this, remember now, the millennial is that child who was so stressed to get that A, to get that B, to get that cutoff point, to go to the university. But then you also get to a point to, and you realize that there is more than that. Yes. And you realize that you may not be that A material. You can be a C material, a D material, but there's something that God has put in you that if developed from a young age, you can still, you can make it in life. And again, we are the millennials are the generation that really was so, geared on grades, such that you end up even in jobs that you don't like. You see. So maybe it's because of also the experiences that parents have gone through that they're like, now I don't want to parent my children the same way. And also the world is changing, even the workplaces are embracing like soft skills. You see, so you start to see as a parent, you have to set up your child to be a global citizen, who has even soft skills, interpersonal skills. You don't want to be an A student, a first-class student, but you have no interpersonal skills. So even if you're at a manager level, you cannot manage people. You see. So the way the world is changing just causes you to also parent differently.
I see.
And also the increase in knowledge as more research is being done and people get to understand what are the needs of the children. So we get to know that it's not only paying school fees, buying food and buying clothes, that children have psychological needs, emotional needs that need to be met by the parent. And so you realize there's something that I missed that I would want to give my children.
Maybe there's someone who is listening to us. He or she is wondering, I'm hearing these names, these jargons, millennial, Gen Z. Can we discuss at least the last 4 different age generations that we have? And probably, if possible, you can put by the year, this starts from this year to this year, so that maybe we can enlighten parents, they can understand this thing we are calling the age generation.
What is it? And even you get to see where am I? Where are my children?
Or who am I bringing up?
Very important. So the years vary a bit, but by and large almost the same. But Gen Z parents, Gen Z are the people born between 1965 to 1979. Some people say maybe up to 80.
That is Z or X.
X,
yes.
Gen X,
that is X.
The baby boomers, Gen X.
Yes.
So that would be like our parents, or maybe older. There's an older generation after X, the silent generation. These are the ones now, Gen X, 1965 to 79, they were really shaped by culture, and historical factors. They really considered that, as they did their life. And they are the people who wanted measurable standards for school. And how is this going to set you up in your career?
Yes. Hawa ni wale mtoto wako angeonekana na msichana amesimama na kijana kwa barabara.
Yes, you don't allow that, and they want to see, they had core values of dependency, they want to be dependable people. They had those, social stability, and they have, as a family, we do this, in this village, this is how we do things. As a clan, this is how we do things, and safety. So they would want to have safety in terms of properties, and secure your career. So these are not the people who moved from job to job, hopped from job to job. No. If you are posted in this school, you work for 30 years until your retirement. So for them, that was very important, the safety, the security. So they don't understand when you, as a millennial, you go home and say, now I'm working in this company, now I've left and in this company. They are not understanding.
Or I'm even working for 2 companies.
For 2 companies, you have 2 jobs. Like, they would consider that as, very unstable and, and unsafe. And they embrace social media. They try. They really try to embrace. They try. Some of them try. But social media is something that is very new to them, and technology. It found them when they were already, grown up and established in their way of doing things. The the post office people.
Yes, the post office.
Yeah.
Barua.
When you say email, how does the letter move from how? Like,
yes, from phone to phone.
I don't understand. So these were the people when they were in offices, they had to teach themselves, and some lost their jobs when computers were introduced in offices. But they had to go to school.
Typewriting.
Yes, typewriting.
Yes.
They needed to go to school, do a bit of computers, get to know how to send emails, how to use Word, Excel.
Yeah.
You see? Yes, so that's a generation.
Generation
then
X.
Yes. Then we come to Y. Y are the millennials.
Yes.
Generation Y is the millennials. Yeah, that is now 1980 to around 1994 there. Again, I said some statistics will change. Others may say from 81, 82, but basically it's the 80s and the 90s children. These are the millennials now. These are the people who are rebelling from culture and historical facts. They want to
do things
their way and parent their way. But they have a lot of positive parenting while still maintaining authority. But they don't want that authoritarianism that they were brought up in, that your children can't question you and you can't sit down and have a dialogue. So these are not the type of parents. They are parenting Gen Z, which we will come and discuss.
And probably as you talk about these people running away from the culture, sometimes I feel like when I watch millennials raising up their kids, I sense like some of them, they do things out of fear. You hear a parent say, I was raised like this.
Yes.
I don't want my children to have to go through the troubles I went through.
Yes.
And so some of them, they are doing things out of fear.
It is true. That's very true. You would say like if someone was maybe raised by house girls and maybe they had a bad experience, these are the people who would say they will not employ, because of that experience and that fear. They want to work from home or do something different. If they saw their parents working in one job for forever, they would say, that one is not for me.
Yeah.
I want to do, I want to do something that I love. Yeah. Because maybe they had their parents who was in one job for forever, they didn't like the job, they looked like they didn't have options. So for them, they look like they rebel because they want to explore their options. This is also the generation that parents out of fear, because they were not allowed to question. You don't question authority, you don't question the teacher. You don't question the parents. Yes, because the parents expected obedience without any question.
There was no answer.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you couldn't even think of questioning.
Yeah.
And so up to now, some of them are not able to question many things because they were silenced, you see. So they may rebel silently. They feel like, I don't want any authority in my life, But it is actually out of that fear that I don't want to be controlled again.
Yeah.
So that's why they look like they just rebelled all of a sudden. This is a generation that we don't understand how they are parenting.
Yeah.
You see, because they don't question at all. And even up to now, you may find some of those people and their parents, they are not able to approach, even let's say the grandparents of their children who are now their parents. Up to now, they are not able to sit down and have a dialogue with their parents. You find that with millennials.
Actually, from where I come from, you hear now the generation X, when they are talking to millennials, they will tell them,
because they're like,
you are not disciplining these people.
Yes, because Gen X cannot understand what is the purpose of the phone. Why is the child having this phone? You are going against,
Who does that? How do you buy a 10 years old girl a phone?
Yes. Or you go for holiday and they're like, you are wasting money.
Yes.
You are supposed to be buying plots and building houses, and where's the future for your children? Now the security side of Gen X, But now the millennial is like, I live once, please.
Yes. YOLO.
YOLO. So you find that And that is why, really, even as we need to learn how these generations interact. Because when you millennial, you take your children, Gen Z, to their grandparents, who is Gen X, and none of them has an understanding of how to deal with the other. The grandparents will keep complaining. These ones are always on their phone all the time, you know, and they don't want to talk to me. You are not teaching them how to, you know, to respect me. But they're in two different worlds, you see. And on one side now, the millennial is trying to balance. How do I please my parents who are Gen X? And how do I parent my children who are Gen Z? You see. So if you don't have that understanding, there can be a lot of conflict in the family, you know, and especially now during holidays. Or Gen Z, they tell you, we don't want to go to shags. Huko hakuna Wi-Fi.
There is no Wi-Fi there.
Huko hakuna Wi-Fi.
It is too dusty.
It is, yeah. And then on the other side, your mother who is a Gen X or your father is saying, I want to see the children. Bring them, I want to see them. And the kind of maybe even the stories that Gen X will have with Gen Z, yani, their worlds apart. So you as the millennial, you are left there trying to balance and trying to see what to do. So this information is very important to understand that they are coming from different
generations.
Different generations. And they are totally very different. And explaining even to your Gen X parents that the reason we are parenting like this is because the world has changed. Because like for Gen X, you can't use that type of authority. It's going to backfire very badly on you. Yes, So so that is Gen Y.
Yes, so we have X, Y, or the millennials. And then we come to
Z.
Z. Hata nini yao si Z, inaitwa Z.
Gen Z. These are now the young people. You know, they're the ones between 1995 to around 2012. So they're between 1995.
So if you're there, you're watching, you're born between 1995 and 2012. Just go direct, you are a Gen Z.
So they're between 29 to 12 years. So they're our teens, our young adults. So they're growing up. They're getting into the workforce now. You know, these are you find someone born 1995 and you're like, what? 1996 people are already in the workplace, you know. These are the people now who are also, you know, starting their families, you know, because some of them are already 29. They're getting married, they're building their careers, they're going through the corporate ladder. These are the people who are following their passion, you know. They're the ones who is doing music as a career. And they love self-enrichment. It's one of the things that they really uphold, self-enrichment. So they love to travel, start new jobs, do things differently, you know. They want to work remotely. While Gen Y, the millennials, are looking at flexi working hours. Can I get to work at 7 up to maybe 3, then I leave at 3, or can I work at, you know, at night? These ones don't want to go. Gen Z does not want to go to the office at all. Can I have Wi-Fi and a laptop?
I work from
the
comfort of my bedroom.
Yes. I work from wherever, you know, and because they were born with technology. As in them and technology, they coexist.
Actually, technology is older than them.
It is older than them. So this is a generation that is going to even bring the change in AI, you know, and the adoption of AI. And this is a generation that also did online classes with the COVID, you know. So, but then again, this generation is also prone to anxiety. This is the generation that has a lot of anxiety, depression, because they think a lot about money. They think a lot about money. They think a lot about their future. And they also want to save. And actually, contrary to popular belief, they are focused. They want to save. If you talk,
really?
Yes.
They're focused. Gen Z.
Gen Z are very focused. They know what they want, how they want it. It is different from what the millennials did. It is very different from.
I feel like they want to spend all the time in TikTok and.
It is in TikTok they are making money. You don't know what is TikTok.
I'm a millennial. Okay, I'm sorry.
So you, the millennial parents, you do not know what is TikTok.
Yes.
You do not know how much money can be made there.
From TikTok.
Yeah, so when now the Gen Z is on TikTok, they're in business.
Me, I'm thinking they're having fun.
No.
They're in business.
They're in business.
Oh,
they have
God.
done their math and they know how they make their money. They want to sleep during the day and work at night.
Yeah.
From their bedroom. They can live and live their whole life from the bedroom. And you, who is the millennial parent, if now you don't know these dynamics, you will keep being at loggerheads because you're wondering, when will you go to work? You don't even go to look for jobs. You need to call so and so. You know, they can connect you to a certain job. They're like, the job is here.
You start thinking that they are going through depression because you don't see them walking out. They're always on their phones and laptops.
Yes. But because they're also flooded with too much information, diverse information, and if there is breakdown of communication now between the Gen Z and the millennial parent, they are prone to depression. Actually, statistics show, I think, about 60% are, already taking anxiety drugs. And this idea they have of self-enrichment makes them think a lot about money and how to make it and how can I save, how can I do this. By this, I talked to one who told me that there's a life they want to live. And for them to live that kind of life, they have to put in 10 years of a lot of work. That's why I'm telling you, they're focused. And so they know what they want and how to get there. Without the support of the millennial parent, they now get, anxious and depressed. And remember also that their social life is also being affected because of the technology. So they may not interact a lot. And also the information that they get is overwhelming. There's a lot of information that they get which can be overwhelming. This is a generation of social media. And so if you think that life is lived on social media and you're seeing that that person is living a better life than me, then you're prone to anxiety. So also I was reading some statistics that were showing some of them, about over 50% by the age of 19, they start taking anxiety medication. So this information is very important, so that we as the millennial parent get to know how to support Gen Z. They have very different ideas. Their idea of work is different from the millennial idea of work. Them, they want to work from wherever. They can make a career out of anything, even what you never thought can make money, you see. But if you don't support them, they also have a lot of resilience. So they may go forward and do what they want, but without now your support, they end up becoming very anxious.
Wow.
Yeah. And they game more. This is the generation that actually games more. To them, gaming is more than a hobby. It's a way of connecting. You see the way millennials go to watch football?
Yes.
It's the same thing. When they meet, even maybe they are dating, and their way of connecting is gaming. In fact, if you want to engage Gen Z, just bring in a lot of games. They have many games.
They'll come running.
Oh, they'll come running. They'll come alive. And you'll be able also to get through to them, because you need to know for each generation, how do you get through to this person? How do you enter into their world? Understand where they are coming from. Understand how is their world like, so that you are able to help them. So they game a lot. It's more than it's a way of life for them, more than a hobby. You see. Yeah.
I agree.
So it's a generation that we need to understand, because there are many. The youth in this nation form a large part of the population. So we need to understand them and give them a lot of support, so that they can be able to, come alive, develop the talents they have, explore the ideas that they have, teach them and show them about the future, the idea you have. Let them think wide, so that they can think about the future, rather than shut them down.
Yeah. True.
That's one of the ways that parents can support Gen Z. Yeah.
And the last one
then
now.
we have the two small ones. The ones who are born holding the phone. You know?
Wengine wao mpaka wanachukuliwa video wakizaliwa.
These are the ones where we see from when they're in the womb to the labor process, to the delivery, to, you know,
everywhere.
To every milestone we are posting, you know. This is Gen Alpha.
Gen Alpha.
Yes.
We have come from X, Y, Z. We are going to A.
Yes.
Alpha.
Yes.
Why A?
I think we are going back all over again. By the way, history repeats itself.
Yes.
The Bible says there is nothing new under the sun.
True.
You know, even these challenges each generation is facing, it is not new under the sun. Yeah. So these are the children born from 2013 up to now. It will continue up to 2025. Yes. 2013
all the way to 2024, up to where we are.
Yes.
So any child born from 2013
till tomorrow.
wote wako kwa Gen Alpha.
Yeah. This generation, their world is 100% digital.
100% digital.
Yes.
My director is telling me that our time is up.
Okay.
And so we need to stop at that particular moment.
Yes.
And then next Friday now we can pick it right from there.
Exactly.
Generation Alpha. I know we also have quite a number of Generation Alpha. And so from next week, we are going to pick it from there.
From Generation Alpha.
Yes. Awesome. So thank you so much for coming. Yes. How can people connect with you?
They can connect with me through social media. All my social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok.
You're on TikTok.
Instagram, Counselor Naomi Ngugi. Or you can call me on 0780-561-751. That's how they can connect me. I'm in town. My office is in town at Kemu Hub. So in Nairobi, that is in Nairobi town. But I'm offering online counseling services and physical counseling services. So wherever you are from any part of the world, we can be able to connect. The world is a global village now. Yes. So we can be able to connect. And so let's reflect and ask yourself, you're in which generation? What are the challenges that you're facing? And it will help you know how to interact with other generations. By the way, Willie, there is no family that has one generation. In our families, most of the times we have 4 generations or even 5. Because if you have someone who is over 80, 90, 100, they are the silent generation.
Yes.
Yeah. So we need to know how to interact, all of us, all the generations.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll pick it from there next week. There you go. Remember, I started by saying that we need to learn, unlearn, and also relearn. Maybe you've been looking at your girl, your boy, and you're saying, huyu amekuwa kichwa ngumu. But it is only that you don't have that understanding. But at least now you have an understanding. You can understand, oh, by the way, this boy is behaving this way because this is their generation. And I want to believe as we keep on learning, we'll be able even to find parenting becoming easy. What is your take home? What have you learned tonight from the show? I want to believe that the show was educative. There's something you have picked from the discussion that we have had with Counselor Naomi Ngugi. And for now, it is kwaheri ya kuonana. See you on Friday as we get to know more about Gen Alpha. Hawa wanasemekana walizaliwa na simu. How about them? Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Willie Kinyash. I'm a Dr. Love. And this is Couples Will Show. This is where we write down our love will while we are alive. For we don't want our love stories to be read when we are 6 feet under. Neither do we want our love stories to be read when we are gone. Kwaheri ya kuonana.